folks tonight. Um, whew, if you want, you could spread out further. You don't have to be on top of each other. Yeah. The microphone does work. You could move away from each other. I'd hate for you to like. Can you hear me in the cheap seats? Got it? Okay. Good. I do call on people in the back row. Well, there must be a lot going on in Phoenix tonight, but Shabbat's going on here. So we're going to use this opportunity to do things a little different tonight. I'm not going to tell you what it all the surprises, but I can just tell you, you're all going to be involved. So let's see what happens. Cantor Noah, what would you like to do?
I'm going to teach you a nigun. A nigun is a wordless melody. So I'm going to sing it once, and then I'll teach you. It's pretty simple and beautiful. Lai, 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 lai. 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 Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. 1 second, let's check if the guitar is working. Try now. There we go. Okay, so repeat after me. Lai, 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 your turn. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. You got it. So let's sing it from the beginning. Are you ready? Just that part. 1, 2, 1, 2. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. One more time. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Second part. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. From the beginning. Lai, lai, lai. A little bit louder. Lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. So remember that tune. I'm going to bring it back in the future. Okay.
Let's turn on page 9 as we offer this prayer together. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared for nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, a day of rest, a day of wonder, a day of peace. On page 3, we'll try the, I just fell. Let's pray on the bottom. Well, you always do the top. Let's try the bottom tonight. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של השבת.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. We continue. Cantor, tell us where we're going. Kabbalah Shabbat, you tell us where we're going.
To page 24 for Shalom Aleichem.
Awesome.
Shalom Aleichem, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, אוי 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 מי מלך, מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך, מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. אוי 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 מי מלך, מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך, מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Flip back a couple of pages to Lecha Dodi as the poem of welcoming Shabbat as if she were likened to a bride. In the last paragraph, we're going to rise and we're going to stand as the bride or the Shabbat enters into the room, into our souls, as much needed, I'm sure, for many this week.
לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקורה ברכה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לה. לך לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, בני בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי, כי באורך וביורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובתהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
All right, so we're a small crowd. Why not find someone to cross the aisle, fist bump, elbow bump, say hello. If somebody's standing by themselves, say hi to them too. All right, you're having too much fun. Let's continue with our Baruch Hu, the call to prayer on page 28, as we remain standing.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד, המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated as we flip the page to Mariv Aravim, page 31. We pray together at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
Flip the page. Next page.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אתה, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכב
tradition to rise for Shema on page 34. We focus on the words.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Thank you. You may be seated as we turn to page 36. Continue collectively with Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. How many of you remember the prayer book before this prayer book? The one, the blue one, the Gates of Prayer that we used from 1976 till 2004. I've told you before that this prayer book is a combination of new material and old. As it turned page 39, this was a reading that was in the old prayer book. I too used to go to services every Friday night with my parents growing up, and I remember this prayer being read. This is a call and response prayer, the old-fashioned call and response that the old blue book was famous for, the italics. So the indentions are the call and response. So, in a world torn by violence, it sounds like a movie intro. In a world torn by violence. Okay, never mind. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace. I tell you what page? Page 39? I said that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Your turn. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice. Anybody remember that one? No? Maybe back some old times? No? All right. See, I read the old prayer book and it reminds me of going out for ice cream because I go to services. Our parents took us out for ice cream on the way home. So like I still, like Pavlov dogs, like I'm like, Shabbat, I have to have ice cream. Anyway, Micha Mocha, page 40.
We're going to continue the call and response. No, really.
Oh, yeah, cool. I meant that.
So you might not know this, but it will be call and response. You'll get this. Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, tehilot, tehilot, ose, ose, fele, fele, noah, noah, tehilot, tehilot. Then we sing together, ose, fele, from the beginning. Micha, mocha, ba'elim Adonai. Micha, mocha, nedar v'kodesh. Noah, Noah, tehilot, ose, fele, Noah, Noah, tehilot. Together, ose, fele, micha, mocha, ba'elim Adonai. Micha, mocha, nedar b'kodesh.
Next page, Hashkivenu, our evening prayer of peace, page 42.
We might find the words also on the screen. Possibly in a moment. But I think you know the words. Yay! Perfect. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with the morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Oh, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen.
So, Cantor, how does the Lord move you here on Vishamar? Do we want to break tradition and try something new? A new
Yes.
version? She's feeling the new version. So, it's okay. We'll be okay. It'll come back around.
Yes.
Let's do a different version of Vishamar tonight.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ביני ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
All right, let's continue with our tefillah, our evening prayer, page 46. I ask you to please rise.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה אליו, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Let's remain standing a moment as we flip to page 59. We offer the prayer at top together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulcha na'eh lehodot. Let's pause from the prayers in the prayer book and turn to the prayers of the heart as we reflect perhaps on the week or just on your personal lives, and think of something that you're grateful for and thankful for, and sometimes we take it for granted. So this is an opportunity to stop and be mindful, and when you're done, you may be seated.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני, אדוני צורי, צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth, and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock, and my Redeemer.
We'll continue with our Torah service on page 244. This text is just getting exciting. We're not going to miss a week. We got to see what happens. We're like, it's the next episode just gets dropped tonight. We got to hear it and see what happens. So let's rise as we open the ark and remove the Torah.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אבא רחמים, היטיב ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים, כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדלו לאדוני איתי ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, ככל בשמיים ובארץ, ככל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל לראש.
Instead of being seated, I thought it might be cool to invite you up here to join us on the Bima. If you would like, it only takes one of you to start. Does anybody want to come and stand with us over the Torah and see it being chanted from as we do it? So that's the joy of having a smaller crowd tonight, is you can huddle up, enjoy being close with Torah and see the words and see the text without vowels, without punctuation. Oh no! Oh, I just realized. Yeah, we need someone to read it though. Oh boy. Anybody can do it? Canner, can you do it? Oh my gosh. Yes, amazing. Yay. Oh wow, we were almost, I thought it was, okay, cool. Anyway. Page, well, here it is. It's right here. This side of the room, this side of the room. You guys need one? All right, it's right here. We'll all do it together. Baruch hu et Adonai Amvorach, Baruch Adonai Amvorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Adonai Elam. Do we do the repeat? Haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
ויהיו חיי שרה 100 שנה ו20 שנה ו7 שנים, שני חיי שרה ותמות שרה בקריית ארבע, היא חברון בארץ כנען. ויבוא אברהם לספוד לשרה ולבכותה, ויקום אברהם מעל פני ביתו, וידבר אל בני חת לאמור.
Awesome. Let's do the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten
haTorah.
Amen. Wow, Cantor, that's really great, but we're out of time. Oh no. Is there anybody that that's up here that has not had a chance to be close to Torah before? Is anyone? Are we okay? We're good. So I just wanted to. I thought it'd be fun to huddle around the old Ashkenazi way, to Torah down. Instead of the way standing up, it's called the Sephardic tradition, when the way we do it normally Friday nights, and this is how we do it on Saturday mornings. But look, there's no break. This is the beginning of this week's Torah portion, which there's no obvious, what was last week and what's this week. It's just starts right there, because it was an arbitrary. The rabbis who created the system of the Parshiot who said, let's have it done read in a year. How long? Where do we cut? Where do we stop? Is in many ways an arbitrary way, and it's based on the Hebrew calendar, not the secular calendar. So there's some weeks where we have to do what's called double Parshiot, because the Hebrew calendar and the secular calendar fluctuate for how many weeks there are, which is why the holidays move so early or late, so then the Parshas move. And really, it's the wrong way to say it, because they don't move. They're always on the same day. It's the secular calendar that changes, if you think of it that way. But anyway, with Torah out and up here and close together, why don't we add a Misha Berach, a prayer of healing and wholeness together as a congregational community, standing near and close to Torah. Is there anyone who wished to add a name, someone that they're thinking of that could use that extra prayer of wholeness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? If you want, sometimes people like to touch. You can touch the tree. They call it the tree of life, the Eitz Chaim, as we hold and make the Mishberach, if you'd like.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
I did fail to mention, Cantor, that was a beautiful chanting. You should consider doing that for a living. You're very good at it. We're going to Hagbah Galila, which is the lifting. As you can see, we're still heavy on the left arm. We've just begun the journey from the journey. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer? Who's got a solid left arm tonight that wants to lift? It's not for the weak, the faint of heart. Anyone? We're not feeling it? Ben, you want to give it a whirl? Really? Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to support him though. All right, it is quite, but he does have some quite muscles here. All right, dude, here's how it works. This is your first time doing this. You're going to bring it down. You're going to be about shoulder width apart, and you're going to bend. You're going to be surprised how heavy it is on the left arm. You're going to want to go up with it like that, okay? It's quite heavy. Whoa, hey, oh, hey. All right, so you're going to want to support it. Yeah, exactly. Bring it down, go up with it. Yep. Exactly. Now let everyone say behind you. Now turn around. Bring it back. Good, good.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. It's in your key. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's Chaim hi lama chazikim ba ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו חדש ימינו כקדם.
Thank you all. You may be seated. The yoke of Torah is heavy indeed, Ben. It is. As you get older and you learn the laws and the wisdom, it gets light. No, I'm just kidding. So last week, I described us as heading into essentially the world's first reality TV show, because we're into the chapters and chapters of stories of our ancestors, the first Jews, and all of their mishagas. These are the people who first put the fun in dysfunctional. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. These are not stories that happened. These are the stories of folks that are in instances of dysfunction that happening in our own lives, which is why I think we relate so much to the Torah stories each and every week. So here we are, beginning Chaye Sarah. It begins with a conundrum of Abraham's life, because it says, and now Abraham was old in his days, and the Lord blessed him in all things. Abraham at this point is indeed a senior. The Torah says he was 137 years old. But this passage comes on the tail, don't forget what we read last week, comes on the tail of the estrangement and the death of two of Abraham's most beloved people. The first being his son Isaac, who just chapters earlier was taken to Mount Moriah to be sacrificed in the Akedah. And then the narrative closes with Abraham returning to his homestead in Beersheba, and Isaac departs with his half-brother Ishmael. And the Torah says very specifically, never to talk or see his father. It actually doesn't say that. It actually does never. They never see them together again, which is kind of sad. Coming off of the Akedah, there's never an interaction between the father and son, which, for those of us who studied it last Saturday, kind of understand why. But the second of the dark times, so the first one's the estrangement from his son, and then tonight it opens with the death of his partner, Sarah. Someone who we can appreciate that they've traveled the world together, they've changed their names in the time that they've been together, they've built a life and a family together, and yet Sarah, who the Torah tells us was 127 years old, died alone without her husband and without her son. Now, filling in the blanks, the rabbis of the Midrash teach, and I think you can understand, that her death was of emotional distress upon learning what her husband was doing on the trip up to Mount Moriah in the previous chapter. Imagine the sorrow. Imagine the feeling of betrayal in her heart. Imagine the shame in Abraham's after coming home from the very trial of his life, when he was expected to take the life of his only child, only to find that instead it is his beloved partner that had died. Such is the vortex of this moment. A man promised by God to have love, children, and a place to call home, now seems, after all this time, to have neither, to have none of it. And yet, the Torah has the audacity to say, and the Lord blessed him in all of these things. So we recently observed the yahrzeit of a great teacher, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who had a commentary on this that I wanted to share with you. He says that this is exactly what the Torah wanted us to feel. It's no Pollyannish book telling us that all we need is to keep up a smile even when, he says, it is no Pollyannish book telling us that all we need is to keep up a smile even when our heart is broken. When Abraham's mourning period ended, Rabbi Sachs points out that he, quote, rose up from the grief, and he commenced in a flurry of activity in this week's Torah portion, purchasing a field and a cave as a family burial plot, the cave of Machpelah. And he asks Eliezer, his servant, to help find a wife for his son Isaac. The blessings of Abraham's life are not found in the happiest moments, but in the choices that we make in the face of great tragedy and uncertainty. Rabbi Sachs continues, despite all the promises, God does not and will not do it alone. By the very fact of his own, we call it simsum, his own self-limitation, through which God creates the space for us to have the ability to make free will or to make our own choices, to have human freedom, God gives us the responsibility. And only by exercising it do we reach our full stature, our ability to be full human beings in partnership with God. Proof text, God saved Noah from the flood, but Noah had to build the ark. God gave the land of Israel to the people. God gave the land of Israel to the people, but they had to fight the very battles. God gave us the strength to act, but we have to do the deed. I dare say, do Jewish. Because what changes the world, what fulfills our destiny is not what God does for us, but what we do for God. I can't stress what I think to be the wisdom of this teaching enough. God's promises to Abraham and to us are no guarantee in life. God's intentions are absolute for sure, but the actions are not. What God promises is a grounding, a blueprint, a setting of expectations by which we have to rise up. We have to get off the couch. We have to act upon and do. Indeed, God blessed Abraham in all things, even the sad and tragic days when everything feels or felt broken. To be a Jew, or even perhaps to do Jewish, is to live in that very paradoxical kind of moment where we feel broken and blessed at the same time. But also to stand up out of those moments and act. It's a wonderful teaching in memory of Rabbi Sachs that we share together and take into the Shabbat with us to consider for ourselves. Great. Thank you. All right. So we are tomorrow morning, for those of you who never joined us, or Torah study online at 9 a.m. To link, you click on the weekly email and you can join us tomorrow. We're going to look a little closer at the purchasing of the cave of Machpelah. We're going to look closer at the language, and as you know, every word of the Torah is important, and the conversation that takes place between Abraham and Ephron as to the Ephron the Hittite. I don't know why I have to say it like that, but I just feel like Hittite. It makes sense. That's how I imagine it. They said it. It's a very interesting story. We're going to read about it, and we're going to look into the commentaries, why it played out the way it did. Why didn't it just say that he bought a cave and moved on? Why do we spend so much time talking about it in the Torah portion. So we will play with that. On Sunday, it is our social action day for our religious school families. But if you have not had the opportunity to bring a turkey, I heard, can anyone confirm that, I heard a rumor that Safeway was doing buy a turkey, get one free. That sounds awfully, has anyone been over there and seen that? Is that true? I don't think that's true. In a time when they're talking about how expensive turkeys are, I find it strange that there would be buy one, get one. Although fries, if I understand, if you spend a certain number on everything else, you can buy a turkey at a discounted rate. So that may be, if you're buying a frozen turkey and you want to bring it by on Sunday morning, we are bring it before like 10:30. We'll be here, I think, starting at 9. Breakfast starts at 9 for the religious school families. Ish. Anyway, so for those that brought them in advance, we appreciate the ones we have in the freezer, and we are donating them to the food bank on Sunday, and they are very much looking forward to our help, as it has been a struggle this year for lots of families, which, by the way, I would be remiss to not point out because, well, Nancy asked me to. Speaking of people who are struggling, we sent out our yellow envelope, the annual fund, and we've had lots in the congregation who could use extra help from us, that we have extended that support. So we need to raise a little more this year. So if you have the means or the ability and wish to help, it is a continuation of helping your neighbors, helping each other, helping your fellow members. So we appreciate that support. If you don't have your yellow envelope, or you have misplaced it, or you tossed it, there's a link online, or we can get you a new letter if you're old school and like the letter and don't want to click on a link. Next Friday, this is cool. Next Friday, I thought, if I hadn't already mentioned it, that in January, we have a musician in residence. We have an artist, due to the generosity of Steve and Arlene, who've sponsored bringing in Joe Buchanan from Houston, Texas. He's the gentleman that played a Shabbat for us during COVID when we were online, and he is going to come and spend the entire weekend for us. He'll be doing services, it'll be an Americana Shabbat led by him that Friday night, January 27th. He will, what did he say he'd do on Saturday? He'll be working with our little kids, our Tot Shabbat on Friday night before services. Can't remember if I think I said I invited him to Torah study in the morning. Yes. I invited him to Torah study in the morning, and then he'll have a concert Saturday night. But that's not, it was a little thingy for some specific group. Saturday night is our concert, so you circle your calendars now for January 28th. Friday night services, but Saturday night's more of a concert. And then he'll be with our children on Sunday morning, again, thanks to Steve and Arlene. So I thought next Friday night, to increase the hype, to get excited, to remind ourselves, we're going to have a replay of his Shabbat service that he played for us during COVID, which is time eternal. It fits for every Shabbat. So we will not be in person next Friday night. We will be with our particular families in a food coma. So we will be online with Joe, getting ready for his music, and only exactly 2 months later, we'll see it in person. So that's going to be very exciting. And thank you again to Steve and Arlene. Yeah, all right. So, and then we're just sort of closed for the next, for that week, from effectively Wednesday until the following week. We're going to take, everyone's going to just, this congregation is going to take a break. Everybody on staff needs a break, and so that's why they're calling it Thanksgiving break. And we're going to be thankful that we have a break. Let's finish our service together. Page 280. Oh, wait, there was a question. What's that? Oh, buy 2 turkeys, get 1 free. Thank you so much. I might put that out on social media so people will know that could have a nice impact for those that want to pick one up. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
282.
282, please rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As we continue to think of those that we may have lost in recent days or those that we lost at this season in years past, observing a yard site, if you wish to share a name out loud, I invite you to do so, or someone at home. Our words on page 294, or maybe on the screen, as we recite the Kaddish Yatom together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Eotev lamich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam almei almaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudesha brichu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Zichronam levracha, may those whom you've recalled tonight continue to be a blessing in your life, and we say Amen. We make the Kiddush on page 5. Oh, sorry. The blessing, you know what? We're going to do the blessing for the Motzi. Isn't there like a line, what is it, Ein Kemach in 2020? Wasn't there a bread reference though? Not the strength, the Torah without bread. But it's a pun on, isn't there like without sustenance? There's no Torah without Torah, there's no sustenance. All right, that was me stalling. Page 5.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כיוונו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל עמים ושבת כל נחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
All right, and we can all make motzi together. If you like a piece, you can come up and grab one. We can, like the way you were, come up and make motzi together.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתיאבון.
Only touch your piece, though. Only your slice.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.